$23 million. Seriously, just let that number sink in for a second. That is the staggering estimated profit extracted across more than 15 different crypto projects. And it was all hidden inside this incredibly complex, highly coordinated web of digital transactions.
But the real mystery we're diving into today is how. How exactly did a massive network of over 50 connected crypto wallets, allegedly linked to one of the biggest influencers on the planet, manage to operate right in plain sight, extracting millions from everyday retail investors?
Okay, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive data-driven investigation by Look Advisory. They literally spent months combing through public blockchain data to map out the digital footprint of YouTube megastar MrBeast, along with his inner circle. And just to be clear, we are strictly looking at the raw data and the forensic paper trail here to understand exactly how this multi-million-dollar extraction allegedly went down.
Section 1. The $23 million allegation, mapping the network.
So before we can really wrap our heads around these allegations, we need a quick refresher on the tools the investigators used. You're going to hear the phrase on-chain research a lot in this explainer. Now, because blockchains like Ethereum are public ledgers, literally every single transaction is permanently recorded. It's out there for everyone to see. On-chain research is basically just the forensic process of analyzing all that public data to track the money, figure out who likely owns which wallet, and map out these hidden financial networks. It's essentially digital detective work.
The researchers used a really cool first principles approach to tie these anonymous wallets to a specific person. Step 1 is identifying a known public main wallet. In this case, it's one starting with 0x96. Step 2, you track the massive transfers from that main wallet to dozens of newly created side wallets that were used for trading. And then step 3, the smoking gun, matching where all that money cashes out. The data actually shows that dozens of these seemingly random, disconnected side wallets all funneled their profits into the exact same Gemini exchange deposit address.
Right? So the absolutely crucial point here is establishing that initial main wallet. It's the red thread tying the whole thing together. So how do we know this specific wallet belongs to MrBeast? Well, the blockchain doesn't lie. During a podcast interview, he actually publicly discussed buying specific CryptoPunks and VFriends NFTs. And investigators just looked at the blockchain ledger and found the exact wallet that made those specific purchases at those exact times. Plus, official project allocations for tokens like ERN and Refinable were sent straight to this address. So the foundation of this whole investigation is rock solid.
Section 2. The Superverse Case Study, Anatomy of a Token Dump.
If we really want to understand the mechanics of these insider trading allegations, we have to look closely at a project called Superfarm, which later rebranded to Superverse. This token was heavily pushed by crypto marketers like Elliot and Alex Becker, and then amplified by massive mainstream influencers like MrBeast and KSI. The setup here is honestly pretty stark. Insiders and promoters secured massive early token allocations, but the early public presale investors, who thought they locked in a 50x gain when the token launched, were suddenly refunded their initial investments due to legal loopholes. So the public gets sidelined while the promoters hold all the keys.
And the hype machine was incredibly deliberate here. Look at the subtle ways influence gets weaponized. For example, a simple eyes emoji tweeted by MrBeast at the Superfarm account, a tweet he later deleted, by the way. But behind the scenes, the intent was crystal clear. Investigators actually found a leaked screenshot from an Elliot stream showing a DM that indicated MrBeast wanted to put $100,000 into the Superverse presale. So you have this tiny public nod backed up by a massive private investment.
And the actual execution of the sell-off? Highly systematic. If we follow the on-chain timeline, in February 2021, the main wallet gets an initial batch of 1 million super tokens. But they don't sell it all at once, because obviously that would crash the price, right? Instead, the tokens are routed to a side wallet. Over the next few months, as new tokens unlock, they get fed into this side wallet and sold off incrementally. By August, millions more are routed to another alias wallet dubbed Bobby Digital, finalizing the massive sell-off by October. It was just a slow, perfectly managed bleed over 8 months.
This brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of what went down. When you break down the liquidity extracted by just 4 of the wallets in this specific network during the Superverse run, it's wild. That first side wallet alone extracted over $6.2 million. And when you add up the main wallet, the Bobby Digital wallet, and the others, and then subtract that initial $100,000 presale investment, the estimated profit from this single project is an astonishing $11.4 million.
Section 3. The Insider Network, a pattern of promotion.
Okay, so the researchers started noticing a very distinct pattern. The exact same faces showing up in the same projects at the exact same times. This wasn't just isolated trading. It looked like a highly coordinated inner circle. You've got Alex Becker acting as a key advisor on projects like Play Metagods, which the main wallet invested in. You've got KSI co-promoting tokens like Super, XCAD, and Refinable right alongside this wallet network. And then perhaps most intriguingly, there's this technical figure known simply as JaggedSoft.
Now this is where the forensic data gets absolutely fascinating. Researchers noticed that the wallets designated to slowly farm and sell off these tokens weren't just operating at random. Not at all. Whenever a long period of automated selling wrapped up, an exact 1% cut of the profits was systematically sent to a specific wallet belonging to the user JaggedSoft. This points heavily to the idea that these wallets were being professionally managed by a third party for a fee, essentially turning influencer hype into an automated wealth-extracting machine. And the profits floating around this network were staggering, often materializing in just a matter of days or weeks. Let's look at another data point from the ERN token launch. On March 8, 2021, the main wallet sent over 14,000 ERN tokens directly to Alex Becker. At the time of that transfer, those tokens were worth roughly $91,000. Just a few weeks later, as the token price soared following heavy promotion, that exact same position was valued at over $900,000. I mean, the speed of those returns is completely divorced from traditional investing.
Section 4. Following the profits, the retail reality.
So while the insider network was extracting their millions near the top of the market, the on-chain data paints a pretty devastating picture for the everyday followers who bought into the hype. The numbers are frankly bleak. Refinable, down 99.96% from its peak. Jigstack, down 99.99%. Play Metagods, which was heavily promoted by this network, down 99.95%. These aren't just normal market corrections, these are total collapses. While the blockchain shows the insider wallets incrementally selling off during the hype cycles, retail investors were left holding bags of tokens that effectively went to zero.
All right, let's summarize the key findings from this Look Advisory investigation. Through meticulous on-chain tracing, researchers allege that an estimated $23 million in profit was extracted. They identified a web of over 50 connected wallets managing these funds. And the data reveals a routine, systemic pattern: secure massive pre-sale access to tokens, utilize heavy influencer branding to drive up public interest, and then execute highly structured, managed sell-offs right near the market peaks. Which brings us to the ultimate question that all this data leaves us with. When you possess an audience of hundreds of millions of people and literally have the ability to move markets with a single tweet or association, where exactly is the line between a smart, strategic, private investment and the coordinated exploitation of everyday fans? The blockchain provides the data, but it's up to us to decide what that data means for the future of influencer-driven markets. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.